Hi, my name's Seb. I've built AI automations for 7 to 10 figure companies, and today I'm going to show you exactly how I got my first AI automation client so you can essentially replicate exactly what I did because I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get my first client. Okay, so what I've set up here is a little structure that I followed to get my first AI automation client. I got my first one through a LinkedIn post. That's pretty unusual way to get your first client. Usually it's not from inbound, let alone on a new LinkedIn account I'd only been posting on for around 3 weeks. But over the past 2 years, I've created a few different systems that we can use to get your first clients. Um, and the way I did it, as briefly mentioned before, is by creating a LinkedIn account and I started posting on LinkedIn. I'm going to go deeper into each of these three core pillars just in a second. Um, but first, I'm going to go over them. And the second pillar is find a problem to solve, i.e., find your niche. So we have to find a problem that businesses suffer from. I'm going to show you exactly how you can find this problem, but we have to find a problem that's worth solving with AI automation. One thing to note with this that I would also do is not to get too caught up in creating the product because then that can lead to procrastination and no growth. Right, so what I would instead focus on is selling the product. Once you've actually sold it, then create the products, then create what you're selling. For example, if you're selling a cold email system, first sell the cold email system, then build it for them. Um, which still won't take too long if it's a cold email system. There's many YouTube tutorials out there on how to create it. You just have to go ahead and create the cold email system, just like you would at custom automation. Then we have to find a distribution channel for if you're just starting out. I think the easiest way is one of these three platforms, really more leaning towards Upwork. I think this is the best way to get started and get your first dollars through the door. I can't personally use it because I'm 17, I'm too young to use it, but Upwork from communities and other people that I've spoken to in the AI automation industry have said Upwork is just a fantastic way to get started. For me, it was LinkedIn or LinkedIn posts specifically. I posted on LinkedIn and then started doing DMs actually only around a month ago. And cold email. Cold email requires a little bit more capital. So it might not be super beginner friendly if you don't have the most money in the world. It doesn't require that much money in comparison to the scale you get and the reach you get with the amount of people you can actually contact with cold email. Takes a little bit to learn, but once you've got it, it's good, and it's reliable, and it's predictable. Especially, that's a good thing with all these three things. LinkedIn DMs, this is the only real free one. It might take the longest to get up and running, just because you also have to grow your LinkedIn profile on the side. Upwork is you can do it for free, but you would have to spend a little bit of money as well. But in on the whole, all of these are very cheap to do, LinkedIn being free. And those are the three distribution channels I would look into, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I use them in getting AI automation clients for myself. So first off, LinkedIn and posting on LinkedIn. So if we go over to LinkedIn, this is my profile, what it looks like. You want to optimize your profile first. So what I mean by that is get a profile picture, get a banner. You might not have social proof at the start. My first banner was didn't say all these client results. It said I build cool automations using AI and make.com or something like that. And I also said only the best time saver in the world automation. Like that was I had no results or anything. It was just kind of me doing it for fun, building automations, sharing what I learned. But now I have these results, built a simple, straightforward description as well, added an about section of just my journey, little bit about who I am. Got the featured section. What I put here is book a meeting with me. Then I got a little bit about who I am again, case study post, and a lead magnet that did pretty well. Lead magnet, if you don't know, is just giving away a resource to the community. Then I post 6 times a week at the moment. That ties into the strategy that I'm doing. and that my LinkedIn mentor told me to do. I hired a LinkedIn mentor around a month ago to help me optimize my profile a little bit. So what I'm going to be telling you guys about LinkedIn is hopefully valuable because I paid for the stuff that I'm going to tell you. So yeah, hopefully it provides a little bit of value to you guys. Also, one thing, once you do start getting clients and testimonials, it's great to get recommendations here over on LinkedIn. I need to get a few more and ask some past clients to get a few more because you can never have enough recommendations and also endorsements. So that's my LinkedIn profile. And now I have this little doc that I follow on how to do LinkedIn, how to frame myself around LinkedIn. And the first thing I do, if we look at it from a high level, is before writing, define who you are and how you want to be seen. So for me, I create 3 core pillars. For me, I want to be seen as someone who builds in public. I show them my journey in the AI automation space, and I also create almost educational posts about AI automation in SMBs, which is small to mid-sized businesses. And then also my final pillar is future of AI automation, although I'm not sure about this one. I might change this for something else because I'm not sure that completely aligns with who I want to be seen as on LinkedIn. I'll go through this pretty quickly. You guys will have access to the stock, so you can look through it thoroughly as well. And then just be clear and consistent. So be clear about who you are, constantly reinforce that identity you're trying to portray to your audience. Narrative, every post needs to have a unique storytelling narrative, and polarizing. If you don't know what polarizing is, be polarizing, don't be boring, don't be neutral, don't have neutral language that doesn't offend anyone or has no personality. Be polarizing, turn it up 20%, don't go extremist, but don't be neutral. Neutral's boring, no one likes that. Example of a good hook is 10 million ARR, annual recurring revenue, is the FU money of SaaS. There's a little bit of personality in there. It's not boring. It's not neutral. You want a hook that causes a pattern interrupt in people. You want to cause a pattern interrupt so people stop to click more on your LinkedIn profile. Content market fit before posting. Is this relevant to my ICP, ideal customer profile, target audience? Is it relevant for my product or service I am wanting to sell? Do I have credibility in this topic? At the start, of course, you won't have credibility. You will have to build credibility. For me, what I did, I was fortunate. I will say I was fortunate because I was right at the start of AI automation. All I would do, and what I still see people do on LinkedIn, is create posts about automations you build just for fun. Like just build a free automation on make.com and say what it does, what businesses it impacts, what system it impacts, maybe put in some metrics if you can. It saves X hours, it saves X amount of dollars, things like that. That's how I started, just building and showing what I built on LinkedIn. That was the main thing I did. And then I put further descriptions on my 3 pillars. As you can see here, the future of AI automation. I haven't put a description there because I'm not sure if I will do that one yet. But these 2, I've put descriptions, what the post should look like for me. You can do the same. Again, you'll have access to the stock, so you can look into that. The content engine, what to write. So the interesting thing is to get content ideas, ask yourself, what did I do? What did I learn? What did I discover this week? If you did nothing in the past week, like sometimes I've done nothing in a whole week and I'm like, oh, what can I post about? I've done really nothing interesting this week. I think about more long term. I think to myself, okay, what have I done in the past couple years that I can share that might be valuable, right? So it might not be this week. Also ask yourself, who did I talk to? What surprised me, right? And then this was really interesting to me. One piece of content, one idea can turn into 5 pieces of content. What pieces of content? Well, it can turn into an educational post. For me, writing about AI automation, I might teach them about a system I built. So, for example, I posted recently about a construction company that I talked to that was spending 15 days every single month creating quotes to potential clients. 15 days of labor per month. So I could teach people on LinkedIn about that system and what it looks like for them. I could create a before and after, what it looks like when they did it manually, spending 15 days per month creating quotes, to what it looks like with an automation implemented, where it now spends them maybe 1 day per month. And you can also turn that one idea into a case study. I can turn that construction business that I built an automation for into a case study. How I implemented that system for them and what it looked like, how much time it saved them, how much money it saved them. The story, the narrative of how I found or discovered this person. Okay, I got this automation job through a referral. That referral who referred me to this construction company was from LinkedIn, who was in a completely different industry, in the SEO industry. So I've got a little storyline there of how I found this person. Lead magnet. Okay, can I give away the system? Probably not if it's an actual client. But you could give away some sort of guide or PDF regarding the document and how other people can avoid or build such a system for themselves, so they don't have to spend 15 days creating quotes like this construction company. And then a sales post. Um, I don't usually do this, but it's just to show that you can create one single idea can create 5 different posts. And then there's some different formats for creating the post themselves, structures you can follow. I won't go into this specifically because you have access to it. You can have a look at it. And here, how to content is not good anymore. It's not really good. Instead, focus on stories, lessons learned, client insights, strong takes, unique mechanisms you use in your business. You can repost winners. This was also interesting to me. Every 3 months, you can rewrite content that performed well in your past posts. It doesn't have to be a complete transformation of a post, but say a post blows up 3 months later, you can adjust the post, tweak the language in the post a little bit, and post it again if you can do that. Like if the post isn't time sensitive, where it's like new news that happened, maybe it's instead of a story post or a lead magnet, you can give it away, a couple months later. It doesn't have to be 3 months, could even be 2. Um, the hook, very, very important. I will go through this. Usually 8 words. Tactics to use in your hooks is specific numbers. LinkedIn loves numbers in the hooks and just in posts in general. You can leverage negativity bias. I'll get into what that is. Credibility jackling. I spoke to 20 CEOs in 30 days. Trend jackling. Talking about the latest trends in the industry. Narrative storytelling. We'll get into what that is as well. Polarizing stance again. Be polarizing in your hooks. Very important. Listicle, listing a bunch of maybe lessons learned or something like that. And always remember, LinkedIn loves numbers. So I'll do a hook example here, this long one, because it combines multiple of these. I've been in sales for 17 years and managed hundreds of clients. That's a narrative right here. This profession is full of bad advice, negativity bias. Here are 9 things I wish someone told me years ago. Listicle. Then here, the body, again, you can look into this. Outreach and growth. So here is what I do every single day to this day. I connect with 20 people per day. Max 50, but 20 is safer. I don't do 50. I do 20 every day. Method, send no connection message. Don't send emails or anything. It kind of sounds more salesy. Just send a request. And more specifically, send requests to your ICP only. Only accept requests from your ideal customer profile. If I head back into LinkedIn, what you can do is you would want to accept connections or send connections. What I do is I go into the search bar actually. I'll go enter with a blank search and then I will go people. I've used up all my people search, so I'll show you another way you can do this. You don't even have to be on LinkedIn Premium. But if you do have enough searches, then go second. This will bring up your second connections. So the people you connect to will be connected with other people in your network. You can see here, one person is connected with this person, Milot Ziquidi. So then it adds a bit more credibility, a bit more familiarity if someone already in your network is connected with this other person you haven't connected to. Therefore, they will be more likely to also accept your connection invitation. And also, one thing I like to do, because none of these are founders or CEOs, which is my ICP, ideal customer profile, I'll go down to the bottom here and filters, all filters down, keywords, title, I'll put founder, and I'll go show results. And then I'll show a bunch of founders who are second degree connections over on LinkedIn. This will just have a second to load. You can see CEO, founder, AI, emergent, tech founder. I'll also do location because I don't really generally target people from New Zealand. The UK, US, Europe generally has a bit more money than New Zealand. Of course, New Zealand, some people, but just the market in Europe, UK, the USA is just far bigger than New Zealand, where I'm based. So that's the way I search for connections if I have enough connection requests. Another way to get connection requests is and send them is through a search term. This way. The fastest way I'll do it, I'll show you how you can do it as well. Go to ChatGPT and ask it, can you create a search term for to look for LinkedIn profiles in the dental industry based in the USA. And then what this will do is it'll create a search term for dentists, dental business owners who have LinkedIn profiles. So I said that wrong. I want to find LinkedIn profiles who are founders, CEOs, etc., decision makers of dental clinics, and I want it to be a search term for Google. So I do this if I ever run out of search on LinkedIn. If you don't have a premium profile, this is what you'll do. And then click enter. Unfortunately, you don't get second degree connections, but you still, in this way, get a search for profiles. You can see they have 1,400 followers here. Usually I connect with people really with a minimum of 500 followers. Anyone less, like 50 followers there. 270 followers I'll probably avoid, even 310, 110. That's just not enough followers to show that they're active on LinkedIn. I'll tend to go for people who have a bit more followers. These people generally have a lower connection acceptance rates than people who are your second degree connection, but it does the job and you still do get more connections and keep up with that 20 connection habit per day. And going down further, once a person accepts your connection request, I wouldn't say wait at least 70 days. It's wait 7 days before pitching anything. Adam Robinson, another big LinkedIn profile, says to wait 60 days. That's a long time. I generally wait 7 days. The reason for waiting 7 days is so that person can get familiar with your profile. And if you post within those 7 days, they can see some of your posts before you actually reach out to them for the first time. So when you reach out to them, you're a little bit warmer, like a bit more of a warm lead instead of a completely cold lead. That's why I wait at least 7 days, because I also post 6 days a week, so the likelihood they see one of my posts within those 6 days is relatively high. DM script here. Hey, thanks for the like or comment. Then how are things going at their company? For Adam Robinson, this is Adam Robinson's technique. I can show you what I do as well. Both would work. This would work completely fine as well. And if you accept an inbound request, this is what I do. Hey, first name. What caught your attention? How are things going at your company? and a little bit of places to get some good inspiration for creating your LinkedIn post. Specific profiles are right here. Phase 5, this is what I'll do a little bit later. Voice notes are also really good in LinkedIn DMs. Even videos can yield really high response rates just because no one does them. That's what I'm experimenting with at the moment. And then a little summary here. Okay, so that's basically a high level of what I do on LinkedIn. You guys have the stock so you can see exactly the entire doc and have it for yourself, whatever you want to do with it. So that is about creating your LinkedIn account and posting on LinkedIn, what to focus on, how to frame yourself, a little bit of a deep dive there. Now we're going to go on to finding a problem to solve. So the way I find problems is through a 3-step framework here. First off, I go onto Reddit and find subreddits that match my ICP. So target audience, that might be, let's say, dentists. You want to target dental owners because you're selling AI receptionists to them. You want to save all of the subreddits you find that we will then use in a Google search query. So if we head over to Reddit, a subreddit are communities within Reddit. So you might search in here, dentist. And then we want to look for communities. We can go right here and okay, maybe we get this subreddit. Let's open that. Yeah, let's do ask dentist. Is there any like dentist owner maybe? Go to communities again. Dental hygiene, dental assistant, ask dentists. We've done that. Dental advice. Maybe I'll just do that. Might be something there. Owner operators. That's for trucks. Dental practice. I'll do this. And if I can't find any more, I'll just do the 3 subreddits I already have. Wait, dental practice. I'll do this. Dental practice. Okay, that'll be fine. So I have these 3 subreddits. 1, 2, and 3. And now the easiest way to do this is also to go into ChatGPT to craft a search term, a Google search query. I have one here. So actually, I'll do this for you guys as well. And I'll basically say, can you take these 3 subreddits? And then I'll just copy and paste. 1, 2, 3. And I want you to create a search term that basically searches all 3 of these subreddits for the keyword I hate. And basically what we want to do is search these subreddits. The reason we look on Reddit is because these are communities where your target audience hangs out and comments on posts even, and we want to extract, hey, what is your audience talking about? Who are the people? What are the people talking about that you want to target? Where are their pain points? What are they complaining about? That gives us an entry point into what kind of automation we will build. Okay, I'll see if this works. This looks a little bit different to what I usually do. Yeah, that didn't work. I'm going to use this. You guys will have this as well. So I'll post in this example to show ChatGPT, this is how I want it structured. This is how I want the search term structured. And the good thing about this is there are tools that you have to pay for that do this exact same thing that you can create a simple search term to find. Of course, they're a little bit more advanced, but the core functionality of searching for specific keywords in multiple subreddits is the exact same. And the keyword here is I hate. All you have to do to change the keyword is change the word or words in between these quotes, right? And here we go, I hate. It's searching through all of the subreddits. This is Ask Dentist, I hate right there. I hate. In the dentist subreddit, I hate. It's searching for the keyword every time the keyword is I hate is mentioned. Maybe you've an automation in mind where you want to sell AI receptionist. Let's enter the keyword AI receptionist. See if that's being talked about that much. 2 days ago, AI receptionist. 7 months ago, AI receptionist. 5 days ago, testing AI phone receptionist. So people are actually talking about it quite a lot. And then the good thing about Reddit is you can also kind of monitor the demand by how much times things are said through multiple different posts across all of these subreddits, and also by the amount of upvotes they get. Because if they have 100 upvotes on one specific problem, well, there's quite a significant amount of demand for that, right? So that's a good thing about LinkedIn and is the main strategy I use to find problems in specific industries. I go to find subreddits in the industry I want to target and then use keywords to search for problems that they face. And of course, keyword I hate or others like sucks helps you surface posts where people are venting about their biggest frustrations in the industry. Weird word there. Scroll through hundreds of posts to uncover the root problems your audience is actually experiencing. This is exactly what I'd do. I would scroll through hundreds of posts, like basically to page 50, find common themes that are brought up, and then write them down in a Google Doc, the common themes and possible automations I could create for the problems they're talking about. And this gets you right down to the ground problem, the root cause of their pain points, not fluff like you might get somewhere else. It's like 100% these guys suffer from this because they're saying it themselves. And there's tools, like I mentioned, like GoGummySearch.com that you have to pay for to do this. I think this site has actually gone down, unfortunately. It was quite good. Did the same thing. You got further insights, but it just had problems with Reddit. And then once you've found a few problems, written them down in a Google Doc, you want to validate the dollar value. Not every problem is worth solving, so ask, would someone pay $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 to solve this? Is it urgent that they'd need to act quickly? If yes, you've found a valuable problem worth building. And it's a bonus if it's a front-end problem being a revenue-facing problem, automation that directly impacts the revenue. This is the best way to get through the door to businesses, is build an automation that impacts revenue, like a cold emailing system where you could even do a pay per performance basis, where they pay you per performance, per lead you bring in, per client you bring into their business. And then other ways, of course, is to work for free, but usually, and what I'll show you in a second with cold email, a pay per performance revenue facing automation can perform extremely well. Very, very well, as I'll show you when I show you the cold email. In fact, I'll show you now. In one of my cold email campaigns, I was selling a cold email automation to recruitment agencies. And if we scroll down a little bit, where are we? It only had a 1.6% reply rate. So it got 14 responses, but of those 14, 10 of them were positive. That's a 71.4% positive reply rate, which is extremely unusual given the cold email landscape in general. And also there was like no personalization in this cold email. This was literally it. No, this is out of left field. If I could help you connect to people looking for recruitment services in exchange for a commission on closed revenue, traditional referral agreement, would you be open? I work mostly on performance, so you only pay for results. Let me know. Plus, if you're open for a chat in the next 48 hours, just shout, I can ring you. That's it. I use their first name as personalization. I got 10 positive responses, 10 opportunities. I think of those 10, I booked around, it was 5 or 6 calls. And 4 of those turned into clients. 4 of those turned into clients. That is 4 testimonials right there. So I closed 4, that's 4 testimonials, which is really good when you're starting as well. You really want testimonials when you're starting to get a bit of social proof. Also, LinkedIn helps with that social proof. That's what I love about LinkedIn. Gives you a bit of social proof, especially if you don't have a website. You can say, hey, look, my LinkedIn profile of a couple thousand followers there. Maybe you have 1,000. I have 1,000 followers there. You can see what I've built there. I've built a few different projects that I've posted there. You can check it out, what I've built. And yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. And so why front-end problems matter? Early in career, I focused on automating fulfillment, admin work, time-saving tools for teams, and efficiency systems. Clients were happy and systems worked, but I was leaving a lot of money on the table. Um, every business has a funnel: marketing, sales, fulfillment, marketing top, sales middle, fulfillment the bottom. Where you solve problems in the funnel determines what you can charge. Automating fulfillment, i.e., admin work, might save $2,000 a month, depending on the scale. This is just an example. The 15 days construction quotes, I will say, provided significant value to this business. I think the main thing with starting with front-end problems, revenue-facing problems and automation is it gives you access through the door. Because from a business's perspective, it's like, hey, if this guy's gonna offering to build me something on a pay-per-performance basis that could directly impact my revenue, why would I say no to that? That's like that cold email campaign I just showed you. It's like it's a bit of a no-brainer. I'm building a system for them on a pay-per-performance basis where the only upside is I get clients and I pay this guy 20%, right? So that's the good thing about these is it gives you an easy front door into the business where you can later upsell to maybe sales or fulfillment side of their business, like admin work. And it can also generate you significantly more if you bring in more clients. The upside is limitless. The more clients you bring into the business, the more money you get because you get more cuts for clients you bring in. Maybe each client is worth $2,000. You get 20% of that. That's $400. Every time you bring in a client, that's another $400 for you. That compounds over time. So solve revenue problems first, upsell efficiency problems later. Then it's time to sell the solution. Clients don't care about what tools you use. I see this quite a lot. People talking about the tools they use to build the automations. Like, people don't really care about that. Just sell the solution, sell the outcome, sell what it does, the time it saves, the money it saves, the benefit to the business. That's all businesses really care about. What value are you bringing to their business? They don't care about the tools. Like, truly, they could not care less. They care about value and what they're getting out of it. And of course, in messages, personalize your outreach, and in cold email, this is extremely relevant. Research. When researching personalizing your outreach, try to use similar language to the language the specific industry uses. Pick up on their abbreviations and mirror their industry terms. Like, for example, AI automation agency, a term might be for us AAA. For the Google Ads space and people in that space, an abbreviation they use is GAA, Google Ads Analytics, or something like that. Just pick up on abbreviations in their specific industry. You can look a lot more, can immediately elevate your position and being seen as a professional in that space if you do use their language. Yeah, and by doing this in your outreach, you look like a professional. Use clients as early guides. Your first clients are for learning. You want to use this for learning. You will not be good, but you will get better. This will help you refine your workflow tool or automation and get you used to working with real people in the real world who run a real business. When I started, I'd been building automations for fun for 1 year. And when I got my first client, I felt like I knew nothing. Like there's so much more to it, and it's so much more like running an actual business than just building automations. That's really a big mindset shift for me. Was that hey, this is just the AI automation agency is just like any other agency. It's just like any other normal agency business. You still have to do client fulfillment, which is building the automation, but then you also have to get leads. You have to do all the sales and whatever that a normal business would do. And when you build automations, ask for feedback, monitor results, and adjust your solution to maximize your value. And focus on value, not perfection. Don't perfect an automation. Almost 100% of the time, the first time I launch an automation and put it into production, there's always going to be errors that I'm going to have to fix. It's never going to be perfect on the first go, so I don't think it's going to be. Um, and getting paid is the ultimate motivator. It teaches you how once the what is proven to be worth it. Then close the loop. Once you've helped clients deliver measurable results, you can use case studies and testimonials to, of course, attract more clients. Treat the step as both a learning process and a revenue engine. This main part of getting first clients is to learn. You want to learn once you've got them. And rule of thumb, selling validates your solution and accelerates learning. The earlier you start, the faster you figure out what works. That was the second pillar. If we go back to here, find your niche, find a problem to solve. Now we're on the distribution channel. I will go over cold email a little bit. I have a doc here. Again, you guys will have access. So 3 tweaks that helped me hit 85% positive reply rate. It was 70% now, as you saw before. I gave this away on LinkedIn, so it was a little while ago. It was at 85%, now 71. So there's really only a couple points here. One thing is to treat positive replies like gold. This is where 90% of people lose. It's the easiest place you can win. Alex Hormozy once said, responding to leads within 60 seconds increase sales by 391%. So speed is trust, speed is meetings, speed is clients. So treat positive replies like gold. Respond as quickly as you can. Likely when these people respond, they're taking their time out of their day to respond to you. So be prompt in responding. For me, I've said it here, I build an automation using make.com that calls my phone once people reply positively. That's how quickly I want to respond. And also, sometimes I switch to a focus mode on my iPhone that only notifies me once and notification from instantly AI comes through. So I have 2 ways for me because I want because these replies are like gold. You have to respond promptly, and respect these guys' times. That's just part of the game. So fast replies is more conversations, more conversions, more clients. Then speak their language a little bit like what I said before. Have your ICP message, read your message and think this person actually gets it. So like use industry specific terms, abbreviations, and insider language. Reference real pain points they actually feel. Just mentioned how to get real pain points and find them, show them you understand their world, not yours. And then I also link that 3-step framework here. Pretty much the same thing as I mentioned just before. Then stop coming in with big dick energy. You're intruding their inbox, so act like it. And against popular belief, no, instead what I'll say is that many people kind of come into inboxes, thinking they're the best. They work at X company, but it shouldn't be like that. It should be, and what's worked for me, I shouldn't say it shouldn't be like that. Of course, for big companies, it works for Microsoft. But for me and for us freelancers and AI automation agencies, I think a better approach to do it, and what I did was taking the approach where it's like, hey, I built this thing. It's been working really well for me and for X company. Social proof. I built X thing for X company. It saved them X amount of hours per month. Um, I know this is out of left field, but do you think this might be valuable for you too? Something like that. And you can see if we go back to here in the cold email, it's pretty much the same approach. If we go to sequences, It's like, hey, first name, no, this is out of left field. Like, this might not be good for you. I know I'm coming into your inbox. I know I'm intruding your space. But if I could connect to people for looking for recruitment services in exchange for a commission on closed revenue, would you be open? Only if you'll be open. Like, if you're not open, then don't reply because I know this is out of left field. I work mostly on performance, so you only pay for results. It's a bit of a no-brainer if you think about it. That offer. Let me know. Plus, if you're open for a chat in the next 48 hours, I can ring you. So it's kind of that same tone and strategy of, hey, I know I'm coming into your space. I know this is out of left field, kind of. I've probably got to get a counter on that. Uh, yeah, but just knowing and acknowledging that you're intruding someone's inbox, I think is really important. Low ego, low pressure, value first, disarming, and it's human. Stole this approach from Nick Sarav, of course. I've learned a lot from that guy. He's also in the AI automation industry. The style respects a simple truth. They don't know you yet, so they shouldn't. So don't talk like they should. And a big mindset shift that I had is one of the big things is that your cold email should be skim readable. It shouldn't be a long paragraph, this long thing, because people only realistically take 4 to 7 seconds. So you have to get them, you have to make your cold email skim readable and optimize everything you can. If they can't immediately understand what the email is about, why it matters, and what you want them to do, you've already lost them. So you need to be short, clear, skimmable, and that's the whole game. So that was a big mindset shift for me, making my emails skim readable and shorter. Like, I mean, look at this cold email. It's so simple, but it was so effective in getting responses. We have 2 follow-ups 1 day later, and then 2 days later, 4 days later. You can see this is pretty skim readable, 2 bullet points, TLDR. Again, very, very simple. And cold email is a numbers game. It's just constant testing. You have to test over and over again, different subject lines, different bodies to the email. If you wanted me to go more in depth about that, I can create a separate video for that. But for now, I'll just keep it relatively high level in some really good ways to get and how I got my first clients. And then LinkedIn DMs. If we head over to LinkedIn, where's it gone? So I talked about a little bit about the strategy before, about what I do for LinkedIn, where I wait 7 days before sending a message. When you send a message, I like to customize all of my messages, and I like to star the ones that have potential to turn into closed calls. So let me take this one for example. I had a call with this guy just the other day, really cool guy, and I'll go over it just briefly. But I want to do this to show you how conversational it was. Like, I opened it. Hey, Nick, good to meet you. I see you live in the land of lifted trucks because he's based in Texas. What else do you do at Rex Digital, his business? And then he didn't respond. So then a couple days later, this is a very good follow-up. Doing some sort of GIF has a very high response rate, and people seem to like GIFs in general. It doesn't just have to be this GIF, but people really do like it. So I did that. He follows up. What's your priority? Done, done, done. You can look through this. Uh, just very conversational. And then we kind of lead into, hey, I've done this thing. I'm trying to automate my Google Ads reporting. Done, done, done. Yeah, schedule a call. And then we hop on a call that was just this morning, actually. So, yeah, it's very conversational. He was a really cool guy. And just know that you don't have to send paragraphs. This isn't cold email. This is simple text. Just act like you're talking to your friend, like really, and make it slightly personalized. You can see there's not a whole lot of personalization, but enough to grab their attention. And this follow-up is also really, really good and has performed really, really well for me. If we go over to here, I'm a month into this, into LinkedIn DMs, just because I feel now I have a little bit more credibility. I could have started at, like, realistically, I would say 1,500 LinkedIn followers, 1,500. I started a bit late. I started after I got the LinkedIn mentor I got. But you can see here, in 1 month, my first month, I sent, where are we? 614 connection requests. 205 of those have been accepted. That's a 33% acceptance rate. 170 messages sent, 20 replies, which is a 12% reply rate, which compared to cold email is really, really good. And almost all of those replies are positive as opposed to cold email. And all of those are more warm leads. They're not completely cold because they can put a face to who you are on LinkedIn. And one of those were booked. Hopefully, a couple more are going to be booked. I'm still learning the cold email, the cold DM game, but the results on my first ever month have been really encouraging. You can see here starred messages of people who expressed positively and were interested in booking a call or my services, and that was 5% of that, which 5% of 20. What is that? My math's not very good. 0.5 times 20. Oh, I did the wrong zero. No, 0.05. 1. Chat started, that's not right. I don't know how to do math, but it was. I had a few. Let's actually check. Unless I haven't updated that, which I should have. I should have updated that KPI sheet. Oh, here. Yeah, see, we have quite a few starred. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 starred. Oh, see, 0.5. Oh, that's 50%. My brain is clearly not switched on today. No, 5%. Huh. What's that doing? Chat starred. Ah. Okay, I wrote that wrong. That's chat starred of connections accepted. So 5% of people who accept my connection turn into people who are interested in my services. Okay, I got that wrong. And that's a reply rate 12%. Messages to 83% of the people who have accepted, and then basically the KPI sheet looks a little like this. So you got the link to their LinkedIn, connection sent, connection accepted, and then the date accepted. So I know when I should send the first message to the specific people, which is 7 days after. First message sent, you can see it's kind of like a pipeline. And then I have a bunch of people here. So that is the third one. Hope that did go a little bit in depth for you guys and made a little bit of sense. But cold email, LinkedIn DMs, I can't do Upwork. I put Upwork there because I've heard such great things about it. But you go to upwork.com, create an account, create a profile, and then basically you can apply to these jobs on Upwork. I mean, I can't sign in. My account got blocked. Okay, so I signed up, choosing a no account. You can see I have the Kiwi there. But basically, once you're logged into Upwork, optimize your profile a little bit. There's YouTube videos on how you can make the most of Upwork. But yeah, I put this here because I've heard it's really, really easy to get your first clients off of Upwork and some of the best ways to do it because it's basically a marketplace where businesses post problems they're already aware of. Like businesses, this is like the highest of the ladder. You have a ladder. At the top of the ladder is people. At the top of the ladder are people who are ready to buy. Boom, boom, boom. These guys are ready. I cannot text like that to save my life. These guys, ready to buy, know what they want. They know what they want and they're ready to buy. The middle of the ladder are people who are aware of the benefits, don't know what to buy. To automate, I guess you could say that. Automate. And then this last one are people who basically know nothing. Like they don't know the problem is there. Don't know the solution. So they basically know nothing. these people at the bottom of the ladder, that's a really bad ladder. Like, the make it a bit better. There we go. So the top of the ladder, people are ready to buy. They know what they want. These people are aware of the benefit but don't know what to automate. So they're aware the problem's there, they don't really do anything about it. And these people, they don't know anything. So the good thing with Upwork is they're right at the top there. Give it a nice circle. So they're right at the top. That's the good thing about Upwork. So you can go into search for jobs. You could do, let's say, make.com automation. Generally, make.com is more well known. So there'll be more posts about make.com. At least that's what I found when I did have my Upwork account before I got banned. So you can see here there's people. You can specify a budget as well. Let's do a fixed price of maybe these two. And you can see people who post, they already know what they want to post. They have money at their hand ready to pay you. That's a great thing about Upwork. And then all you have to do is apply. You might have to buy connects because it costs a certain amount of what they call connects, or like tokens, I guess you could call them, over on Upwork. So you can see here, this guy's a budget of $4,000. And then over here, what I was talking about, connects, you should see this to submit a proposal costs 21 connects, so it costs a lot. Some costs only one. And I believe you only get 10 connects free per month or something. But you can see they have a description, and then you can basically submit your proposal. There's many ways, videos on YouTube showing you how to best optimize Upwork. I can't really say anything about it because I don't know too much about it, but I've heard really, really good things about it. So that's the reason I put Upwork in there, is because it seems like a very beginner-friendly way, and from what I've seen and people in the community have told me, a very beginner-friendly way to get started in the AI automation industry and get your first client. But yeah, that's the way I did it. I created my LinkedIn account, started posting, found a problem. This is finding the problem and doing that Reddit thing I showed you is especially relevant for cold email. If you decide to do cold email, very, very relevant. You have to have an offer, and your offer has to resonate with the audience you're targeting. I can show you a bit more how to do cold email, how to get leads, create a list. I'd use Instantly AI, as you saw before. I use Instantly. What I did was I looked on YouTube for people who had already tested copy, and then I took their copy and tweaked it a bit. Copy just means the writing of the email, the subject line of the email. Because I've already tested their copy extensively, so why not just take their copy that's been tested a lot and use it yourself and just tweak it a little bit to your offer and what you're offering. That's also something that I've done. That's what I took for me a little bit from Nick Sarav there, if you guys know him. Shout out to him. But that's what I did with my campaign that got 10 positive replies out of 14 responses. And LinkedIn really was my main channel for a very long time. I highly recommend LinkedIn and getting started on LinkedIn. Some people might say, hey, don't get started on LinkedIn and posting on LinkedIn because you have no social proof yet. You won't build credibility, which, when I think about it, it is true. But also, if you're getting started off and you're on a budget, if you have zero money, then LinkedIn is a great way to get started. Just optimize your profile, like I said, and follow the document that you guys will be getting, and you should be okay. But if you do have the money, then I would suggest going to cold email, nailing cold email. It might take a couple of months before you start seeing results with cold email, but once you nail it, then you've nailed it and you have a predictable system along with LinkedIn DMs. Upwork is it's not as scalable as LinkedIn DMs and cold email, especially cold email. Cold email is extremely scalable in terms of the time you put into it compared to the output. It's kind of like an exponential graph where cold email will be like this. Upwork might be this. The amount of time you put in is the same amount. No matter how much money you put into it, it'll still take the same amount of time to reach the same amount of people. Whereas cold email, you put more money into it, the time doesn't increase. It just gets more and more efficient and is super, super scalable. LinkedIn DMs, I'd say, is more like this. It's not as scalable as cold email here. More scalable than Upwork here. So I reckon it's a bit in the middle because I still do it manually. Wouldn't recommend doing automations on LinkedIn just given the restrictions they have and the higher possibility that your account gets banned. Of course, you don't want your LinkedIn account getting banned, so generally I avoid doing LinkedIn automations. So I hope this was valuable to you guys, showing you how I got my first AI automation client. Hopefully it helps you out a little bit and you got a little bit of value out of this. So hope you enjoyed this and we'll see you in the next one.